Hello and welcome to A VO's Journey. My name is Anthony Pica, your host. This is episode number 107. This podcast is all about helping the new and upcoming voiceover artists grow their business so they can sidestep all of the crazy landmines I seem to step on. Today, I want to talk about luck. That's right, luck. Luck. All right? Let's do it.
This is VO's Journey. With your host, the incomparable Anthony Pica.
All right, so you might be saying to yourself, Anthony, what, you want to talk about luck? I could use some little luck right now in my business. Well, I do want to talk about luck. And I want to talk about luck in this way. I want you to think of Luck, right? That's how we spell luck. But if you take those letters and you add to them L, laboring, U, under, C, correct, K, knowledge. So if we put those together, laboring under correct knowledge, that's luck. That is luck, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to dive into this idea in the podcast tonight because, I had a lot of things I wanted to say about work ethic and how much effort you're putting into, but I think this hopefully will get the point home a lot better because there's a lot of people who are working hard. And then there's a lot of people who are doing what they feel is the amount of work that they can do right now. However, they might not be seeing the result they want to see. However, they might see someone else who doesn't seem to be putting in as much work, but yet they're getting better results. What is it? Are they more talented than us? Do they have some crystal ball where they know what's going on and I don't, et cetera, et cetera. But I want to, really just kind of imprint on your mind that the idea of being lucky, okay, the idea of, the stars aligning and things just happening for you out of the blue is clearly a misconception. And it is just one of those things that is completely looked at the wrong way. Being lucky really is laboring under correct knowledge, right? It's you working your hardest under the correct knowledge, meaning that you are in the right place, doing the right things over and over again. Then the magic happens, okay? That is luck. Luck is not something that just happens to some random people, okay? Luck is when it all seems to happen for you and everyone else says, oh my gosh, it just seemed to like that, she's an overnight success. How in the world did she do that? It's incredible. I don't understand how she made it. She is so lucky. And then you talk to her and she says, I've been working at this for 10 years. You just never knew it until now because now you see me. But see, to other people, that's lucky. But to the person working, that means they're working under the right set of circumstances. They're working, doing the right things. So, bringing this full circle to us, are we doing the right things? Are you doing the right things for your business? Are you marketing to the right people? Are you recording the right way for you? Are you editing the right way? Are you running your business the right way? Now, we could all say the right way is relative to each one of us and our set of circumstances, but I think we can all agree that there is certain ways to do things that clearly are better, and there's ways to produce content and produce voiceovers and to, get business and all these things, we can all agree that there is better ways to do them. So as I'm thinking about this and talking to you, I'm really just trying to get across this idea that if you are working hard or working maybe medium or whatever you're doing, and you're not getting business, the reality is most likely you are laboring under false knowledge, or you are laboring under not the knowledge or the set of circumstances you need to be laboring under. You're not working in the right places. You're not working on the right things. All right, it's interesting because and I like I've always said, I'm so fortunate to be able to coach a lot of people and get to know more people and listen to their stories and work with them on helping them reach their fullest potential. And what I notice is that a lot of times what I see people doing, is not it's not the things that will get them the best results the fastest. It's not what would actually work right now. But as they talk, I think they feel like they want it to work right now, but they're doing the wrong things. Perfect example. And this is a perfect example. And I'm going to say it. Okay. Let's say you are a person, and it's so funny. I was working with someone tonight and we kind of came up with this, but let's say you're a person who wants to play the lottery. All right. And for this thing, we're going to call voices.com the lottery. Okay. And in this scenario, all right, the price of admission is an audition on voices.com. All right. And let's say you buy 20 tickets. So you do 20 auditions. Well, the odds on voices.com that you're going to get work at this time, you're competing with quite a few people. Like they say, the odds are 1 in 100,000, 1 in 500,000. I know there's less people that audition for each role, but you get where I'm going with this, right? So I like to call voices.com the lottery because I feel like it's very enticing. You go on there, someone posts a job, you get sent the email that tells you can audition for the $2,000 Nike spot and you really want to do it. It would be so cool. It's an amazing thing, or $10,000, whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's like winning the lottery. You'd win the lottery. However, everyone is playing that lottery. So you go on and you do all of this work and you get 3 likes out of the 20 auditions and you're still waiting to hear from someone. 20 auditions, no matter where it is a lot of work. Okay? So let's say for this example, and I'm not saying that you're this person, you might get tons of work from voices.com. But most of the people that I work with, we're not getting any work from voices.com, including me. So let's say you go on to ACX, and let's say you do 20 auditions. Let's say you do 20 auditions for 20 different books that are 3 hours or less. Each one of them is paying $100 per finished hour. All right, well, you know what? Let's even say $50 per finished hour. And out of 20, all right, the average you probably get is 2. Right? I always like to think you get, 1 per 10 that you audition, which is pretty standard, and I have seen it over and over and over across the board for people I work with. So let's say that you do that and you get 20 auditions. And they're 3 hours at $50. That's $150 for one and $150 for 2. That's $300. So now you've made $300, okay? And, you have put in a decent amount of work. You've put in, probably 15 hours of work on these books. All right. So, you're looking at $20 an hour. Okay. And by the way, on your own terms, when you want to do it. So you've done this, you've done that, you've made some money. However, you didn't win the lottery over on voices.com, which was $2,000 because, man, it looked good, right? But over here on ACX, you worked hard, you did the same amount of work, then you got work. It wasn't $2,000 a lottery. It was $300, and it was 15 hours of work. It wasn't the, lottery 30-second spot where you had to do, 5 or 6 takes, and you got to remote in with some really cool people smoking, cigarettes in some back room. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Anyways, but I crack myself up about the smoking in some back room, like anybody does that anymore. But the point here is that, do you see where I'm going with this? Laboring under correct knowledge, knowing where to go, knowing what is working right now, and on top of that, knowing what is going to work for you. I was talking to someone today about a certain group that is not very pro shorter length books. And if many of you remember, I had come under attack about some similar thing a while ago. And I'd heard it from multiple people today. Odd day. I don't know what today, was any different. But while they were talking to me again, it dawned on me that it really, really matters, right? What you are trying to accomplish. So for me, I set out on my journey to become a full-time voiceover artist, not to become famous, not to become the person on the front of AudioFile magazine. Now, if that happened, would I be upset about it? No, that would be cool. But that's not what I got into this business for. I got in this business to enjoy my life, enjoy what I could do, and make a good amount of money for a living. I didn't get in it for popularity. So, with that being said, for me, books that are 3 hours, 2 hours, or 1 hour, if the ROI is great, meaning that the amount of time I spent on that book and the return on investment, like if it's a royalty share, that's great. I'm all for it, and I will do it till the cows come home. However, if, on the other hand, I got into this business because I wanted to be an audiobook narrator superstar like Sean Pratt or Scott Brick, all right, I would probably approach that differently. I might not do the shorter books written from, people who English is their third language. Okay? I might try to work on getting those large novels. And I would know that by doing that, it's going to take me a lot longer to get work. And I'm going to have to, do work at a long time before I can ever become that. But here's the thing. Again, I'm not me. I'm just talking about me right now. I'm not trying to do that. And I don't know if you are too. Because if that's not you, reconcile that with yourself. Make sure you're okay with what you are doing, and then do it. Go to the places you need to go. Do the things you need to do. Do you need to be the all-star voices.com narrator? Voices.com voiceover artist? Do you need to be that? Or is it just, again, the lottery is a lot of fun to play? Because there's a lot of other places that you could spend a lot of time at working. On top of that, there are so many people right now, so many people, just like you and me, who are not doing voiceover, but doing other things like trying to run other freelance businesses that need our services. Okay? So if we target those people, if we go to the places where the work is, you're going to get work. And if you want a lot of work, you're going to have to put in a lot of work. If you want to get a lot of book deals, you got to put in a crazy amount of auditions. So here's the real question. The real question is, What are you willing to do for the dreams, then the goals that you have? That's all it boils down to. How much work are you willing to do? How much, blood, sweat, and tears, sitting in our booth, are you willing to do? Right? How much effort are you going to put in? How many times and listen, I'm not saying, again, and this is always a misconception, right? Because I'm not saying you have to stay up like I do, where it's like 1:30 a.m. in the morning, which is crazy, right? But you don't have to do that. You can. So see, I'm trying to do something now. I'm trying to raise my monthly income to $20,000. I talked about it on the last podcast. I'm talking about it again on this podcast. That's my goal, $20,000 a month. To get to that $20,000 a month, I know I'm going to have to put in a lot of work to get to that $20,000 a month. I'm going to have to push myself. I'm going to have to figure out new ways to make things happen, create new streams of income, go to places where things are happening. And I'm going to have to make it happen. And if it doesn't happen, I know it's not because it's not possible, but it's because I'm not doing what I need to do. Now, don't get me wrong. That doesn't mean that I'm not working. It could mean that I'm working in the wrong place. So I hope this whole entire podcast, if you get one thing out of it, you guys, I really want you to get this. I want you to get that if something is not working for you, and you've been working at it, you've been putting in the effort, and it's not working, don't die on that hill. Go to another hill. Try out another hill. Don't be wishy-washy. That's not what I'm saying. Don't try out one thing, put something up one night and then the next day you're like, forget it. It doesn't work. It's not what I'm talking about. But I'm talking about, if you've been doing something for a while, for months, years, and it's not working, or business is declining, or it's declined a lot, and you can't figure out what's changed and why nothing is happening, what's different, you've got to start swimming in another pool. You've got to start putting yourself out there in a different way, going where the eyes in the business is, and playing by the new rules of the pool. Not by the old rules, but by the new rules. If you don't do that, you're not going to get business. You've got to labor under correct knowledge. And if you don't know what the correct knowledge is, that, my friends, that is our job, is to figure out what the correct knowledge is. Whether we do it by trial and error, whether we hire coaches, whether we read books, whether we do all of those, right? Whether we study people who have been successful and model after their success, whatever way you want to do it, you have to figure out the correct way. And then you go after it like nobody's business. And when you do that, when the dust clears, everybody will say, wow, you are so lucky. It's amazing. You're like an all-star, like an overnight success. And you'll smile and you'll accept the praise. And in the back of your mind, you'll say to yourself, they have no idea how hard I worked to become an overnight success. I hope this has helped out. I hope this gives you some ideas about what you are currently doing. And if it's not working, don't be afraid to try something new. Don't be afraid. I'm going to say it. Don't be afraid to change prices. Don't be afraid to change your demo. Don't be afraid to change your pictures. Don't be afraid. Take action. Go for it. If you've got an idea, do it. If you wanted to start a podcast, start a podcast. If you wanted to be a YouTube star, work on it. We have the keys to the kingdom. We're good at audio. We all know that's one of the crappiest things out there, and we're good at it. All right, I digress. Thank you guys so much for listening tonight. I really what's interesting is I tried to start recording this before, and I got about 10 minutes in actually, and I was like, oh, I don't like the way it's sounding. How can I talk about this better? And I really wanted to get across to you to, don't be afraid to go for your dreams, but make sure you are making the right decision under the correct knowledge, the correct path. And if it's not working for you, don't wait to make a pivot. Don't wait to make a turn. All right. Don't stay on the same path and fall off the cliff because you didn't turn, because you were worried if you turned, you might not get to that end where there's some pot of gold, when all the time there was no pot of gold. There's just the voices.com lottery. Ay. That was dramatic. All right, you guys, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for listening. You guys have a wonderful night. I'll talk to you soon. Peace.